So why do guys liking pics make other women insecure? I'll drop in one of these corners, one of the videos that I did that primarily talked about contextually how us as women perceive our guys, our object of our affection, the guy that we like, that we're with, sometime even married to, how that affects us emotionally when we see him liking other girls' pictures. And specifically, you know, it's the pictures that are super suggestive, where women are dressed like, you know, scantily clad, as they say, you know what I'm saying, booty, breast out. Sometimes it's the repetitive action that kind of gets us a little bit off our square and gets our mind and stuff like that to twirling into thinking. So to where as a man, it might not seem like a big deal to you, I'm just liking a girl's picture or whatever, I think there may be a little bit more to it. And I think that men, you know, we'll probably do that on another video, but I think men really need to start realizing that it does affect us emotionally, and it is because we are very sensitive and fragile creatures. We want to be the object of our man's affections, adoration, all of those different things primarily. We do not want anybody else taking that from us. We don't want anybody, we don't want to have to compete for the attention of our man with any other women. Most women. Now, you do have to keep in mind too that there are some women that do have insecurities, and that's what we're here to talk about today, right? You know, why does a man liking a woman's pic make other women insecure? I'm about to tell you why. So the unrealistic body goals that are basically pushed to the forefront of Instagram algorithms and profiles, like, real women are not able to attain that aesthetic. We all know what the aesthetic is. The aesthetic is, you know, the large bust, the large butt, very, very small, abnormally small waist, you know, surgically enhanced, of course. The land of Instagram filters and contours and highlights and makeup and lace fronts and veneers and all of the different things that you would need to really sell yourself aesthetically in the world that we live in today. And, you know, this is no knock or diss to those girls. Like, I always say that, because if you're pretty and you got the opportunity for that to be your talent, and that's what it is that you're doing to make ends meet, do that. Make your money, do what it is that you want to do. In the context of the conversation, though, I just think it's important to note that that standard is not realistic, and a lot of women know that they cannot attain it. And so seeing their man like a woman's picture with this, like, you know, that fits into that prototype is very intimidating, because most women know that they will not in any of the near, or, you know, not in the near future, be able to attain that kind of aesthetic or body shape or facial structure or, you know, any of those things. There's a thing of, you know, the women that men are choosing to Google gaga over, be all in their comments, you know, and I know all of the things, y'all, so I don't want the dudes, because a lot of times dudes be trying to gaslight, yeah, it's just Instagram, we not, you know what I'm saying, it's nothing to me. Y'all got group chats where y'all bouncing pictures back and forth of girls or women that y'all think are attractive. A lot of men have, you know, pictures and screenshots in their phone of women, which I don't know what y'all do with that. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. But a lot of men do have stuff like that in their phones. You have pictures of beautiful strangers in your phone for whatever reason. And so it is something a little bit more than just, I'm just liking it and keeping it moving. No, these are images that are getting locked into your subconscious. And if you would be honest, these are the women that maybe you fantasize about being able to be with or have on your arm. You know, men are visual. I think that's something too, women, that we need to understand and realize too, that men are always going to be visual and always are going to be drawn to pretty things, to showy things, to flashy things. And for a man that does not have the gift of discernment, tuned in and attuned and, you know, turned up to a really high level, he's going to have a really tough time maneuvering through the land that is Instagram. Is going to be very difficult. The women represented on these platforms in these super large numbers, and again, the women that the men are idolizing, don't look like us. You know what I mean? And us meaning us as the whole, the general whole. Now, we all can get cute and we all can do what we need to do. On a day-to-day though, like, we hoodied up, you know what I'm saying? Very little makeup, very natural. We don't have all of those mechanics working together in order to present a certain kind of product. And again, these women are doing this to an end, right? This is the way that they enhance their revenue stream, by ensuring that they've invested into the beauty of themselves. So we're not necessarily represented at the highest rate. So there's also a thing too of not being represented. And it's very ironic that a lot of the women that men do tend to seem to have all the same aesthetic. You know, they seem to have all the same body type. And again, for a woman that feels like those goals are unrealistic for her, if that's something that she doesn't innately, genuinely want to achieve on her own, it's going to be a little bit off-putting for sure. I think it's also important to note that women are always being coined for being, you know, disillusioned under the Disney princess model, right? Where we look at Disney princesses and feel like that's the way that our life is supposed to be. But I would also argue that men have fallen victim to that as well. Although a lot of us may be still stuck in that damsel in distress syndrome, feeling like somebody's gonna come and save us, feeling like we're not gonna have any issues with our prince and he's gonna just sweep us away and we're gonna live happily ever after. Men have also developed thoughts and ideologies in their mind where they have a picture in their mind of what they think their perfect girl is supposed to look like, you know, petite, cute, you know, beautiful, long flowing hair, you know, polite and, you know, just subservient and kind and generous and, you know, all of the princessy things. A lot of men want their woman to be like that. And if it's less about the character or the characteristics of the Disney princess, a lot of it does, you know, equate to what he wants her to look like aesthetically, which is damn near perfect. You know, if you look at these Disney princesses, the symmetry of their faces even are very clearly defined. It's like perfection, right? And I think that men do have in the back of their mind a desire, most men, not generalizing, but most men, a lot of men do have a picture in the back of their mind as to what their dream woman looks like. So a lot of the time exercising their right to be able to double tap on a picture of a photo of a woman that he deems to be kind of like that dream girl, that may be the closest that he gets to it. And I think men are vicariously living through these social media platforms and these avatars and, you know, kind of being able to live out those fantasies virtually. So it's really like a psychology thing. I don't think men think that deep into it, but I mean, if you've studied psychology or if you've been to therapy, or it's never what it appears to be on the surface. There's always layers. Just like if you dig up a tree, there's always going to be roots. There's always going to be something beneath the surface that requires examination to really get a rounded out overview of exactly what kind of things you're dealing with. I think lifestyle is also really important to know. A lot of the women that are on these social media platforms that are at the top of our algorithm feeds and things like that, you know, they're jet setting, they're, you know, traveling to these countries and doing all of these fabulous things and hanging with other maybe, you know, IG baddies or, you know, influencers, celebrities. They're going to the best parties, they're eating the best foods, they're wearing the finest clothes, they're, you know, hopping on and off of private jets, and there's a lifestyle that is being sold. And I want people to really understand that this is marketing, this is branding, this is, you know what I mean? They're selling the lifestyle to you to buy into whatever it is that they may be selling. So whatever you're buying into, for those that do patronize women that are living their life like that, if you support that, definitely, again, I'm never going to hate on any of these women getting their money, but understand that you are buying into their lifestyle. You're buying in and funding their ability to have that lifestyle. But men, I think, look at those pictures too, because they see those same pictures too. So the same girls that they follow, that you bother because he always liking girls with the, you know, bikini pics and, you know, all of the different girls, they usually have those lifestyle photos and that content, you know, woven into their Instagram feeds and their social media feeds, TikTok feeds, all of those different things. So I think when men see that, it's also super attractive because these women seem like they have no worries. And men want a stress-free life. They want a stress-free, worry-free life. No drama, no arguments, no holding you accountable either, no calling you to the floor, not requiring anything more of you. You know, men want peace, you know, and I'm just saying that to the far end of the spectrum of those things. You know, a man may not want those things, but understands that he may need to get those in order to be his best self, right? So I'm not saying all men are adverse to, you know, being kind of pulled to the floor and kind of having those challenges within their relationship to a positive end. But I will say that men do find it attractive, I think, for women that seem like they have no worries and it's just a good time. It's just a good old-fashioned time, okay? You know, y'all hanging out, cocktailing, smoking, drinking, whatever people are into, you know, going to these exotic places, eating these exotic foods and stuff like that. That's also super appealing. So again, these women are selling it and men are buying into it because, wow, it's just the ultimate fantasy. Because a lot of men do have desires, too, of having wealth and monetary gain. And they do feel that if they were able to attain that monetary status, that they would be able to land a woman like that. which is why women also feel insecure, because women subconsciously know that. If you had the money and you had the means to be able to attract a woman like that, would you still be with me? That may be one of the things that women may not be ready to admit, but it's important that you do, especially if you're in a committed relationship or partnership with your man and you're noticing that he's having these issues and you're having these concerns. You want to know. And if y'all friends, which y'all should be, if that's somebody that you consider a partner, you should be able to ask straight up. You know, if you had the bread, if you had the money, you know, are these the kind of women that you are interested in dating? You know, are you only dating me because I'm what you qualify for? You know, you start talking those kind of, you know, that kind of language. And I think men would respond in kind, or, you know, or at least be, you know, their ears would be turned up. You know what I mean? They'd be hearing you a little bit different, because that's just shooting straight from the hip. Like, what is it? You know? And I think that's really ultimately what, you know, a lot of women are feeling when they see their man or object of their affection liking other women's pics. Another thing that we're seeing with the advent of social media is that things that may have been kind of taboo or maybe only talked about in barbershops with their homies, or, you know, when you are amongst a group of men, you know, they have these certain kind of conversations about other women, even if they marry, got wives, girlfriends, whatever the case may be, they're still going to be able to, you know, fraternize with other men and, you know, talk about women that they deem attractive. Though, you know, back in the day, I'm sure it was Jet Beauty of the Week, or, you know, did you see the girl? Did you see that spread on page 56? You know what I'm saying? Like, men are always going to be visual. Men are always going to, you know, be into the visual, you know, are going to be susceptible to falling into the beauty that is a woman, right? But not until social media came along, specifically Instagram, have we been able to see those things made tangible, where women are now able to see those things. So whereas, you know, your man might be at the barbershop with his homeboy and see a pretty girl walk past and make a comment to him, and they key and they eyeballing her and looking her up and down or whatever, as innocent as that may be, right? Because we all have eyes. We weren't privy to that. You know what I'm saying? He comes home and it's like, oh, hey, baby, how was your day? You know, we eat dinner, and that's that. Now we get to see that conversation that he had with his homeboy at the barbershop, because he's liking it. That same girl that was walking by now just posted a picture on Instagram 23 minutes ago, and he just double tapped and liked it. So now you get to see it. Like, okay, so is this what you like? Is that what you into? And again, I want men to understand this is how women think. Most women, right? We're now analyzing, okay, well, if you like that picture, do you like the way she looks? Is this somebody that you used to date? Is this somebody that you wish that you could date? Is this somebody that used to date you? We start going through the motions. I want y'all to understand that. And I want you guys to also respect the differences between a man and a woman. A lot of the times we're always trying to figure out what's going on in the head of a man and how we can relate better and things like that. But I really want men to challenge themselves to step inside the shoes of a woman and understand that we are not created equal, not just in the ways in which they're convenient for you, but we're not created equal in our mindset, in the way that we process information. And we do delve a little bit deeper into things, maybe sometimes unnecessarily, but a lot of the times not. And that's where the gaslighting comes in, because a lot of the things that we do as far as introspective research into different topics and different things, a lot of the time these things end up coming back to be correct. You know, so just respect that. But I think it is definitely hard for women to digest the fact that they are visually seeing their man being attracted to another woman, or they're seeing their man, you know, sexually excited or aroused at the look of another woman, or they're seeing their man, you know, adore and show attention to another woman. Women are very territorial. Women are very stingy, okay, when it comes to their man. It's a whole nother conversation we would have to have around that. I do have thoughts around, you know, all kind of things, polygamy included, you know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of our psychosis as it pertains to, who still got a house phone? Who still got a house phone? So I think there may be reasons why we're so stingy and why we're so, you know, because a lot of us are insecure. I do have to tell us that. I mean, and that's the premise of the video, but I do want to let y'all ladies know that a lot of us are existing in insecurity. And, you know, those things we get triggered, and those things get brought up when we're dealing with situations like our man showing attention to another woman. Our man technically should be able to say to you, wow, that woman is beautiful. Isn't she gorgeous? What a beautiful woman. wow, that woman, wow, that body is together. She must be in the gym heavy. Like, wow, that's dope, you know, of course, in a respectful way. But there should be a point in time in which you get into your relationship where you should be able to have those kind of exchanges. And it should be able to be vice versa, right? We're not ever doing one-sided things. So at a certain point in time, you also should be able to say to your man, like, wow, he's handsome. I've always thought he was so handsome. He is like a really handsome man. These are natural things. And if we're not able to kind of meet each other at that place and have those kind of conversations, we really have to evaluate where we are internally and kind of start picking through our own baggage and figuring out why we cannot digest these things. Why are these things so hard to take in? Lastly, I just want to note, I think one of the biggest things, you know, as far as women being insecure about their man or somebody that they like in other girls' pics, is ultimately, it's really a fear-based thing. What we notice in a lot of our behaviors in life, a lot of those things are predicated or rooted in fear. And ultimately, women feel like if you're liking this girl's picture or this woman's picture, and there's something about her that you do like and that you are, you know, attracted to, she has the potential to take you away from me. She has the potential or the power, right, to take you away from me. And I don't want you to leave me high and dry. I want to be with you. I don't want her taking you away from me, which is why women will fight in the street over their man. Women will take the earrings off, okay, and fight over their man because it's like, you are mine. You know what I'm saying? There's a possessiveness that's there. And while I think some of that can be cute, you know, there's a very fine line, right? We kind of have to understand when it becomes unhealthy and being able to address that and deal with that, you know, on its own. But typically, that's kind of the psychology that women are dealing with. Women feel like, okay, well, if you like her this much or if you're attracted to her, you know, are you going to leave me either for her or a woman that looks like her? Are you focused on me? Do you still find me beautiful? Men, these are the thoughts that women are having in their head. And while I will say that it is up to us individually to resolve our own insecurities and build our own selves up and have our own levels of confidence on 10 as much as we can, it's also your job as my man to hype me up. It's also your job as, you know, the man to the woman that you're dealing with or you talking to or you dating, you got to big her up. Fill her cup up. So whatever you have left over after hers is overflowing, if you want to give a girl a compliment or whatever, she's so full, she not tripping. You've poured into me in such a way. You've watered this flower in such a way. I'm blooming, I'm shining, I'm not tripping. Oh, she's shining over there too. Water her too, babe. That's cool. You know, you're not picking her, right? You can admire her, water her, throw her a compliment, give her some positive reinforcement too, because you never really know what you might be doing when you give a woman a compliment or like either. You know, so it's still a basis of love that we're sharing, right? Of course, it's all rooted in intention. So it's like, okay, sometimes dudes just be wanting to smash and that's the reason why they like it. But you never know what you might be doing for that woman that you're liking the picture. Maybe she's having a really down day. Don't let the Instagram thing fool you too, to think that all of these girls that look all put together are all, you know, all have confidence on 10. That's not true. Some of the most beautiful women in the world are some of the most insecure women in the world. So always keep that in mind as well, women, when you're thinking about, okay, he didn't like this girl picture and she, you know, doing this and doing that. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Don't let your eyes deceive you. But make sure that you are resolving whatever your own insecurities are as it pertains to why it bothers you when your dude is showing attention to another woman. You know, it's a double-sided coin. I want the guys to understand what it means for us when you guys are doing that. And women, I want you to really start resolving your own stuff. Be your own biggest fan. Instead of focusing so much too on what he's doing as far as what he's liking, what he's not liking, who he commenting and all that. That's a lot of energy, baby. What you want to do is you want to get on your grind and focus on you. So if there are things that you see in that woman that he's showing attention to that you feel like you want to be able to attain on your own, get in that gym. If surgery is your bag and you're looking to maybe get that body done or whatever, if that's important to you, if you feel like that's integral for you, make sure you think long and hard as to why and make sure that your reasonings and intentions are on point. But if that's something that you want to do for you, start saving up. Get that credit right so you can put it on care credit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're trying to do, I'm just about action. So whatever it is, I'm not really about sitting and complaining and, oh, woe was me, I'm the victim thing. Nah, like if that's something that bothers you and you want to play that game, you need to be ready to get your jersey dirty and be ready to get in there and do what it is that you need to do to compete. Not with him or her, but with yourself. I'm about to level up. I'm about to level up. And that confidence that you will gain through that process of getting there, whether that be going to the gym, getting a new hairstyle, starting a new business, you know, just putting that focus back on yourself. I promise you, girl, these women are, you know, miles and miles away, or over here, or over there. And yeah, even some of them may be local where they may have access to those. But he, you know, your dude or the guy that you're talking to, he's not talking to them, he's talking to you. So focus on that and focus on you. Okay, you guys, so it was really important for me to come with this follow-up video. You know, we're gonna continue having some of these conversations surrounding social media. We're just scratching the surface because, again, like I always say, social media is so new. So we're still figuring out so many things and how it, you know, plays into how we deal with each other in our relationship. So if you like what I said, go ahead and drop it in the comments. If you agree with what I said, if you disagree with what I said, if you've experienced that, if you are fed up with your dude constantly liking girls' pictures, or dudes, if you constantly liking women's pictures and you didn't really hear the reason as to why in this video, make sure you drop that in the comments too. You know, like, subscribe, share, help the algorithm, y'all. The more you like this content, the more of it you will see, the more they will push it to the front. So I appreciate all of the love as usual, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.